Sony a6600 is considered the flagship camera for this lineup. It has great features like a high burst shooting rate, great stabilization, superb autofocus, and many more. The specs seem so much alluring that I almost made up my mind to buy this camera. But after digging deep into how the Sony a6600 really performs, I found some annoying flaws that made me rethink my buying decision. And this video is all about what good and bad I have found in the Sony a6600. So with that being said, let's get started. At the first glance, the Sony a6600 looks very much like the other Alpha APS-C cameras, except for the grip, which is larger to fit the bigger size Z-type battery. Moreover, the larger grip is also more ergonomic and feels more comfortable than other Alpha APS-C cameras. However, this ergonomic design would make more sense if there was a front dial. Besides, you might also miss the autofocus joystick, which would be certainly a plus for ease of use of this camera. In addition to that, the camera has a hot shoe but no flash, and that is a bit disappointing for flagship cameras like the Sony a6600. But what might excite you is the inclusion of a headphone jack, which users wanted in the Alpha APS-C cameras for so long. The Sony a6600 is equipped with a 24.2 megapixel CMOS sensor. This is the exact same sensor that we have seen in the a6100, which is half the price of the a6600. The resolution is fine, no complaints about it, but there is a significant rolling shutter issue, which makes this camera less appealing for shooting fast-paced scenarios. Now speaking of prominent features of this camera, it features an ISO auto minimum shutter speed, which you can use when you are in program mode or aperture priority mode. This allows you to determine when the ISO sensitivity starts to change based on the shutter speed you set. When shooting moving subjects, this feature works really well. As for the burst shooting, you can shoot 11 frames per second for up to 116 images with this camera, which is fast enough to shoot action scenes and sports. But the issue lies in its single card slot, which supports a slower UHS 1 memory card. So after burst shooting, you'll have to wait for an eternity for those files to be written from buffer to the memory. This might end up in missing important moments, though you were standing right there and waiting for the buffer to clean up. It could be consistent with high-speed shooting of this camera if the Sony a6600 featured a dual card slot, or at least it could include a UHS 2 card slot for more speed. The a6600 lets you shoot UHD 4K video at up to 30 frames per second. It can also produce oversampling videos based on super 35mm recording area and effective 6K resolution, which gives you footage with impressive details. Moreover, there is no pixel binning, and so it provides you superb footage quality while reducing aliasing and more effects. For slow motion videos, this camera lets you shoot Full HD 1080p videos at 120 frames per second. And the best thing is, it has no recording limit time, which allows you to capture videos for a longer time duration. Apart from that, the Sony a6600 is also capable of producing 4K videos with HDR and incredible colors in your videos. There's also S-Log3 for color grading, which brings true-to-life colors to your videos. Besides, you can shoot 4K videos with 4x2x2 sampling by using an external recorder. This camera comes with a 3-inch 921.6K dot flip touchscreen. It also comes with white magic technology with an RGBW pixel structure, which makes the screen bright enough to be used with ease in daylight conditions. The Sony a6600 features an XGA OLED electronic viewfinder that has 2.36 million dot resolution, which is decent and gets the job done. But for a flagship camera like this, A more resolution electronic viewfinder would be appreciated. And if you compare it with the Fujifilm X-T3, which comes with a 3.69 million dot EVF, the electronic viewfinder of the Sony a6600 is well below the mark. One of the main strengths of the Sony a6600 is the autofocus, which consists of 425 on-chip phase detection points and 425 contrast detection areas, which offer quick, accurate focusing. Moreover, the autofocus is so fast that it can detect subjects in just 0.02 seconds. And there's real-time tracking with eye detection, which works so well that you could almost leave it as it is and never manually change it and still get sharp images. Additionally, the eye detect autofocus also works on animals, so if you want to capture memorable moments of your pet, it has just got easier. It also features 4D focus, in which time is considered as the fourth dimension, and the camera makes a prediction about how the subject might move with time. This also facilitates lightning fast autofocus performance for fast-moving objects. Another feature that was missing in the previous versions of the Sony Alpha APS-C cameras is image stabilization, but the Sony a6600 comes with 5-axis image stabilization to compensate for shake when you are shooting handheld. So that was all about my point of view on the Sony a6600, and I really thought that I got something that I can call almost a perfect camera for vlogging. It has a compact form factor, a flip screen, a headphone jack, a microphone jack, superb autofocus, and stabilization. However, the rolling shutter issue, lack of a flash, undercooked electronic viewfinder really made the Sony a6600 a less appealing option for its price range. So what are your thoughts about the Sony a6600? Let us know in the comment section.